education slash just like experience and stuff is just like so good for the industry, because like I look back at my work from 2017 and I'm like, oh my God, that is horrendous, and then year by year it's like better and better and better, and then I'm like, well, what am I going to be like 10 years from now, or am I going to be like twice as good, am I going to be 10 times as good? So the thing about the industry is like you can never be like perfect.
Hey everyone, you're now listening to Cup of Queens with Paige and Saray, and we're so excited to have Ann Dunham, the owner of DL Wedding Films, on the podcast today because we love Ann.
We do. Ann talks with us about her wedding film business, her advice for young women on starting their own business, advice for brides on their wedding day, and what is next for her in her upcoming year. Ann also gave us a sneak peek into her own upcoming wedding.
So grab your cup and enjoy.
Hey. Hi. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I was like sitting on my own little Zoom thing forever, like staring at myself, and then I realized I wasn't even in your guys' thing. I was just like in my own little meeting.
It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, wait a sec.
How's your snow day?
Oh, good. I haven't gone anywhere, which is awesome. So
yeah, I know. We're
hunkered down.
We're not, I don't mind this at all. Like, I would rather it go away, but also if it means we gotta just stay at home, I
know. It's nice once in a while. It gets annoying towards the end of winter, but right now it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, Christmas is coming. I'm cozy and at home.
That's kind of how I was feeling. Normally I hate it when it snows the first time, but I'm like, okay, I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Up until Christmas, I feel like it's fine. And then after Christmas, you're like, okay, I've had enough.
Now we can be done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much again for coming on Cup of Queens, and we're so excited to chat with you. So I guess just kind of start off by telling us about your wedding film business, a little bit about yourself, and start from there.
Yeah, so my name is Ann Dunham. I started my wedding film business in 2017, like a month after I graduated from college. And yeah, I've been in Fargo this whole time, doing it, traveling, some in Fargo, some, in Minneapolis, some in Bismarck, kind of all over the place. So yeah, I've been at it for, what would that be, 5 years now?
I did not realize it was that long.
Yeah,
I know, me either, until I like counted a couple weeks ago and I was like, oh my God, that makes me, I don't know, it's crazy.
You're like a veteran at this now.
Yeah, one would like to think, but I feel like I just have still like so much, like, I don't know, to learn and grow and stuff like that. But yeah, it's awesome. It's been really good.
I feel like within an industry like yours, where it's creative, like it's always growing and evolving. And I'm sure with that, you're constantly having to stay up with trends and different things. So what is something that you maybe at least recently learned that you feel like is really unique?
So that's actually really funny that you brought that up, because I am in this like Facebook videography group, and there's like some older people, and not older, I should say, like in their 50s or older than me.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they're like, so what cameras do you guys use these days? Because we're using, so-and-so camera. And I'm like, I don't want to be that person that is like 40, 50 years old and doesn't know like the latest trends and the latest software and the latest, stuff like that. Because I feel like, when we think about our parents, they're a little bit more behind on technology than we are. So I just hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, I don't know if that answers your question. I kind of forgot what your question was, but that's what came to my mind when you said that. So,
well, because you have to be learning something new all the time in order to, I feel like, kind of stay relevant. I know that's like a horrible way to say it, but to stay up with the times, and especially with weddings, a lot of people are younger who are getting married, so they want to have the newest trends and this and that.
Totally. So like I feel like in the photography and videography world, you learn something, but like you can always learn so much more. So like I've been in this for 5 years, but like I don't even know half of the stuff that like I am able to learn. So like education slash just like experience and stuff is just like so good for the industry, because like I look back at my work from 2017 and I'm like, oh my God, that is horrendous, and then year by year, it's like better and better and better. And then I'm like, well, what am I going to be like, 10 years from now? Or am I going to be like twice as good? Am I going to be 10 times as good? So the thing about the industry is like, you can never be like perfect, if that's a good way to put it. Like there's always something to learn, especially like with the software and stuff that we use. Like you can't get to like the end of the software. There's just like always something new you can be learning. So it's kind of crazy. Like, yeah, like you said, Saray, it's crazy that like the creative aspect of it is like, you always have to be up on the trends and stuff like that. And social media is like the biggest thing right now with like photo and video. Like where do you go to view people's work? You go to Facebook and Instagram. So it's like that, you have to be up with the times on social media. And, how is that going to progress? Is it always going to be social media? Is it always, is it going to turn back to websites and, different ways of marketing? But yeah, it's just always evolving, like you said.
Wild.
Yeah. I think that's really cool too, that you mentioned, there's always room for growth and there's always room to learn and have that opportunity. And I love that you continue to stay humble in a sense for that. So talking about other women, whether they're younger or maybe a little bit older, looking to start their own business or kind of go off on their own career path, what advice would you have for those ladies looking to take that next step?
So I guess I would say like, you never know unless you take that risk. So luckily for me, like I didn't really have a whole lot of overhead when I started a business. I had to, buy a camera and I mean, it is expensive in a sense, but like I would have never known like where I would be today if I didn't like take that risk and quit that job. A year after I graduated college, I started a job. I quit 4 days later and I started this business the next week.
Wow.
So it's like, you never really know unless you do it. And a lot of people would be hesitant to, start a business. I know a lot of people are, but I guess you never really know unless you put yourself out there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think, and you're phenomenal at what you do. Like my favorite thing that you do going into your social media kind of talk is these little previews that you put together.
Yeah.
The weddings.
Those are so fun.
So fun. But you capture so many, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but you capture so many like different moments, but you put it all together and it's like, this is a whole day in a nutshell.
The whole day in a nutshell, but you do like these cool graphics and like overlaying and different things to make it's not just a montage of video, like it's so much more than that. And I can only imagine the amount of time you spend in an editing room.
Yeah. So honestly, I almost enjoy those like so much more than the lengthy videos, just because the bride and groom, I feel like would love the lengthy ones because it shows way more and stuff like that. But in terms of like editing and having fun with it and stuff like that, like those little previews that I can have fun with and like take my specific clips from that I really, really loved, like is like honestly the best, because within that like longer video that you do for the wedding, like there might be clips in there that you obviously are good, but it's not like your top 10 favorite clips.
Sure.
So using like, the 30 clips that you really, really love for that wedding and putting it all into one like video with their first dance song, for example, like is so much more fun to me.
How do you pick what is the best or like your favorites? Because I'm sure it's super challenging because everything is so great and there's so many memorable moments. So how do you weed through that?
Yeah. So that's like the best thing about weddings is like everything for the most part is usually like so pretty. Like it's so different with video content, right? Like there's so many different avenues of video. So like you might be, a videographer for like, a car dealership, or you might be a videographer for, weddings, but like what's more pretty? Like weddings are always like the prettiest thing, and everyone has like flowers and dresses and sparkles and this and that. So it's like so hard to make a bad wedding video if that, I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but it's like just everything's just pretty. So it like makes my job easy. But in terms of like how I pick my favorites, it's comes down to like the energy of the clip, you know, if people are laughing, you know, the lighting, the scenery, the, you know, the people. It mostly comes down to the energy of the clip and what I'm looking for.
I love that. But like going through, I think of just editing this podcast, like it's only maybe an hour long, and it takes me a long time to make like an edit to that. So how do you stay focused during an editing process, and like what do you do to make that as seamless as possible?
So I would say my process is it's a long process, but honestly, like a lot of coffee. And no, just patience, and I love doing it, so I can't complain.
Yeah. Okay, have you tried neurotropics?
No, I haven't.
You should do these because I feel like it is a game changer. So it's like caffeine, but not. It's not coffee. It's not anything like that. It's a drink that is going to make you focus. So Paige and I just got on this like bandwagon. We got down this rabbit hole and found this company called Magic Mind, and they make this matcha neurotropic drink it's a focus drink. It's not like an energy drink. So that's a difference, is it doesn't make you like jittery, but it makes you like super alert and able to literally stay focused on a singular task.
Okay, well, yes, that's literally what I need because it can be so hard to stay focused, honestly.
I know. And what I found that I really like is I'm not reaching for that other cup of coffee in the middle of the afternoon. So normally it's like 2, 3 o'clock. I'm swinging into a gas station, getting a big cup of coffee. But since I started drinking Magic Mind, I'm seriously like, I don't even need that. I'm focused. I'm continuing on my task.
Yeah.
And I also really like that it's packed with really great ingredients like ashwagandha, which essentially helps to de-stress, where like coffee obviously creates anxiety. So that's another really cool nugget.
For editing, this would be your best friend.
Okay, I was gonna say that's like the thing I need is the focus more so than the energy, because you can't like sit at your computer for 10 hours and work. I mean, you need like some sort of way to focus. So I need to try that out.
Yeah. Exactly. And the longer you drink it, the more impactful it is. So like you start to feel the impact the longer you drink it. So you continue to have more of that focus and retain that, which is really great because they have a subscription process. So basically with our code Queens, you get 40% off that subscription. So we're on it. Y'all should try it.
Isn't that cool?
I think it's cool.
All right. Well, yes, I might need to try that actually, because I need that in my life.
Yeah, we're like all about it. So Magic Mind, code Queens, it will be a savior for you. You will literally love it. But yeah, I like feel you. No, I don't. I can't even say that I even like remotely am on the same page of you and editing, but like
editing a whole wedding is so daunting.
Editing a whole freaking wedding. And speaking of wedding, you are getting married next year.
Yeah, 4 months, I think, ish. 4 months in a few days, I think now. So yes, it's coming up super quick.
It's so exciting. Tell us about like your style, your vision, all the fun girly things.
So yeah, honestly, I'm keeping it very classic, modern. I thought about doing a lot of, you know, the trends or the looks that are popular right now, but I kind of now am back to where I was at the beginning and just keeping it like very timeless. And I think that's going to be the best. And I'm obsessed with everything that I have. I'm doing greens and whites and blacks and obviously whites and tans and golds. So I'm keeping it like very neutral in a sense, and not bringing in a lot of those colors. So it's going to be awesome. I'm getting married at the same place Paige did. So I got to see all like the ins and outs of the place, which actually was very, very helpful. Because I've obviously like been in the space, but like being able to see how the day worked in the space was super helpful. Yeah.
I'm so excited for you. That place was crazy. It's such a beautiful venue. And also, I want to ask more questions about your wedding, but the fact that you brought up Paige's, how was the day for you? Like, we had a chance to talk with Addie and get her perspective of the day. So like, what did we miss that only maybe you saw?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if there's anything that I saw that no one else did, but I don't know. Paige and Landon are just like so sweet. They like don't like, I feel like they couldn't hurt a fly. So it was just like they're so easygoing and willing to do everything. So yeah, it was awesome.
It was good. And you absolutely killed it.
We loved having you there. We were talking about it even the next day and like on our honeymoon, and we're like, and she slayed. So and then when we saw the sneak peek video, we like literally died.
I was so excited to put that together too. The next day I was like, all right, I got to get this done like as soon as possible because I want to show them as soon as possible. That's like a high you get on after like a good day of like photos or videos. It's like you're almost like on this high of like, I need to get these to them because it's so good. And like that's definitely how like I was feeling. And it's an actual feeling. It's like, you know, when like a photographer or a videographer like shows you the camera during a shoot. I don't know if that's happened to you guys or not, but it's like that's like a real feeling. It's like, look at this, it's so amazing. So that's kind of how I felt after your wedding, because it was just like absolutely stunning.
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you. So what kind of advice do you have for brides, just now that we're on that topic?
Well, obviously, like, it's like cliche, but I feel like Paige, you could attest to this, is just like take in those moments that like are special on your wedding day, because it does go by super, super fast. And hire a videographer and a photographer.
Check, do that.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug. No, just kidding. I would say just to like incorporate like personal touches within your wedding day, and like you don't have to like follow this like traditional wedding per se. Like I see so many people that are just like so excited and so happy about these like little moments or little items or little experiences that aren't, you know, traditional. And I think that's just like a really special thing about weddings, is like breaking a tradition and doing your own thing. And I'm just like all about that. I'm doing a few of those things myself. So I love seeing those things on a wedding day, and I would highly recommend any bride to do that, just because this was done, you know, how many years ago, and so did it, and so did it. You know, like not necessarily you have to do it if you don't want to. So that's the biggest advice I would give someone getting married.
Great advice. What I'm sure you've seen so many different things done. What is maybe the most unique or just really different kind of take on maybe some of those traditions that you saw that you're like, oh, I've never seen that before?
Yeah. So lately I have seen like little to no bridal party, which I've seen like 2 or 3 weddings in the last like 6 months that are like little to no bridal party, which I am all about, because you know, it makes it easier, it makes it cheaper, it makes it, you know, less of, you know, craziness the day of and all that good stuff. Which would be the one thing that came to my mind. And then just like breaking traditions, you know, not only during the ceremony, but the reception. You don't have to have things in a certain order. You don't have to have, you know, flowers at this table and this table. You can use, I don't know. There's just so many different things I could probably go on and on about. But one other thing that comes to my mind is the first dances. Yeah. Like I've seen a lot of people, I don't know if this is a tradition or not, but it's something that I noticed that is like actually really helpful in everyone's point of view, is like cutting down each song and make it a little bit shorter. Ooh. And because some songs can just get so long, and you know, if it's a 3-minute song, that's like 9 minutes of people just sitting there waiting, and it kind of gets repetitive and all this stuff. And if you want that long dance, like, so be it, that's awesome. But like when it's condensed into a little bit shorter time, people's you know, attention spans keep up and stuff like that. So that's something I've seen recently too that I think is really cool.
I think that's a really great idea.
Yeah.
Because
I never thought about it,
especially like the father-daughter, mother-son, not to like cut those out, but those are usually the ones that people are like, okay, like,
all right,
we've seen.
Yes, you get those like brides and grooms that are like, they do the fun dances and you're like, okay, this could go on forever and I would enjoy watching this. Or same, I've seen like the bride and the dad do a fun dance. Sarah, didn't you do that?
Yeah.
Like those types of dances, like they could be as long as you want and everyone's attentions would still be there. Yeah. But if you're just like kind of doing the normal dance, like it can get long if you do a longer song. Not all songs are that long, but I have seen recently DJs just cut those down a little bit, and I think that's awesome for everyone's point of view, I guess.
Just to keep things moving. I love
agree.
that.
Yes, that's kind of what weddings are. Well, it's kind of sad, I guess. Like moving things along quickly is like important in weddings, in terms of, I guess more so probably in the beginning of the day, during the end of the day, but that's kind of a big thing. So that does help that portion too.
Yeah.
What is one thing that you, on the flip side, that you see people do on their weddings days that you feel like usually causes maybe stress? Like I think of Paige and I both did this, but I think of the sparklers.
Yeah.
Like sparklers, I think they're so great. I'm so glad you did them. I'm so glad that I did them, but I could see that being a big stressor for some people. So is there other things like that you notice throughout a day that you're like, okay, this is like actually tough?
Did the sparklers go okay for you guys?
Like, yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It was just a matter of like getting everybody out there, but Nicole kind of did a good job, and Addie of just being like, okay, let's go, like herding cats out the door.
Right. Yes. Well, that's funny that you say that, because there was one wedding I was at that like the sparklers they got this, I don't know what it was, but like the smoke was out of control. So like they couldn't even like really see where, I mean, no one could really see. It was like that bad. And I don't know if the photos even turned out or what, because I can't imagine they would with that much smoke. So that's really funny you say that, because that was the first thing in my mind that happened. So I'm glad your guys's went well.
Was yours good too?
Yeah. I mean, you think you
nice.
might turn on fire, like, but we didn't. Here we are.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what else I would say that I wouldn't do. So I don't want to like diss anyone.
That's what's hard is there's not maybe like, everyone can make everything work, but I guess sparklers is just always something that comes to mind that like a lot of people do, and sometimes it could go very
Yes. And I think a lot of things are like, things might be trending that like, 5 years ago that is like kind of weird today, or people's taste in stuff isn't the same taste as yours. So you're kind of like, oh, but they might absolutely love it. And someone might think the same about my wedding. They might be like, ooh, but I love it. So it's kind of hard to say like what, you do and don't like in terms of that. There's just like a lot of things that like I like being a videographer or a photographer or a wedding coordinator, or those people that are like literally with you usually for like almost 10 hours a day. Like you learn so much stuff like that has honestly helped me like plan my own wedding, because you see like it might be like 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. for example, and like you're with them getting ready, you're with them behind the scenes, you see what the guests see, you see what the bride and groom see, so you like see all the point of views that like really helps figure out what makes a wedding day run really smooth. And if I didn't see those things, like I've been to a handful of weddings myself, but like not behind the scenes necessarily. So it's really cool to see all those things. And otherwise, I don't think I would have been able to like plan a wedding on my own. I feel like I would have needed a lot more help than I do now.
Totally.
Yeah. Are there any particular favorite projects that you've worked on, and why?
I can't like point, well, I shouldn't say that. So I want to say like my favorite projects have been the ones that I've traveled for. So like I did a wedding in this was like a few years ago. So it's like I have like progressed significantly since then. And I wish I could go back and do it over again. But I did a wedding in California, and then I did a wedding in Mexico. And those are like my two favorite things, because you think like I love Fargo. I'm never really going to move away, but like it makes you realize like how cool like photos and videos can be when like the scenery is just so much different and literally everything is like picture perfect. So those two are like my favorite things in terms of like projects I've done, probably just because they're so memorable, and it was like a week-long thing and all that fun stuff. But I'm also like super obsessed with taking photos now. So I've done a lot of photos recently. And so I'm kind of really excited about those projects that I've been working on and like doing more of those in the future.
That is so cool. So is that like is photography something that you've always had in your back pocket, but just put a focus on video, or is that newer to you?
I would say it's newer to me. So people don't realize how different photo and video really are. So like you see someone doing video with a camera and it's like, well, you have a camera so you can take our photo. It's like, well, that's not necessarily always how it works. Yes, you can take a photo on that camera, but you might not be good at taking a photo on a camera when all you know is video. So I would say that I have always had an interest in photography, but I didn't really start getting like quote unquote like better until the last like I would say 6 months, a year. I've really been trying to like get better at it. So yeah, I'm like really enjoying it now that I like got the hang of it. It's really fun to like have something different other than videography to work on.
Yeah, that is so awesome.
Are you doing mostly just weddings for the photography, or just kind of a little bit of everything?
No, so like the last year, so I've been doing like family sessions and couple sessions and couple newborn sessions, and then I've done 2 weddings. I believe I've only done 2 weddings photography wise, but they've both gone really well, and I wouldn't mind doing more. I am more so pushing videography than photography, but later on, if I am doing more photos, I wouldn't mind that either. So I think having the option is going to be really fun.
Yeah. So exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about just like all the day and all the things that you do, and this might be a hard question, but what is your favorite part of your job, and what is the least favorite part of your job?
That's a good one.
Ooh, that is a good question. So in terms of like wedding videography, my favorite part of that job is like the moments of a wedding day that are like so special. So seeing your dad for the first time, Paige, or seeing your soon-to-be husband, or the ceremony, stuff like that. It's like you're so in the moment that like you don't even feel like you're working. So I would say that's like my favorite part of the job, just because those moments are so special and like not everyone gets to see those things. Also, like I guess like I just said, you just don't even realize like that you're like getting paid to do this, honestly. And then my worst part of the job, which really isn't that bad because I do really like it, is just like how time consuming the editing portion of it is. Because the final product, it's like when it's done, you're like, this is awesome. It was all worth it. But like you're going through that like editing stage and you're like, oh my gosh, is this ever gonna end? So I would say that's like the most like stressful part of it. But honestly, like I can sit in my living room in my pajamas and do this. So like I can't complain about, it being hard or anything like that. It's just more so time consuming than anything.
Totally.
Yeah, no, I get that. And then even a little bit ago when you talked about adding in photography and kind of expanding that aspect of your business, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And what do you think is a goal that you really want to accomplish?
So, yeah, like you said, Paige, I would love to see myself doing more photography, because you can do those little shoots like a family session or pregnancy announcement, for example. You can do those and edit those and be done with those in 5 hours total. Whereas like a wedding, it's like you're there for 10 days, or sorry, not 10 days, 10 hours, and then you edit it for hours and hours and hours and hours. So it's like I would love in 5 years to be able to like do a lot more sessions of like just photography and be able to spend less time editing and more time like out in the field taking the photos, taking the videos, for example. I want to always keep doing video and photo, but like dialing it back a little bit would also be awesome.
Yeah.
Just because my summers. I love summers, and they just get super hectic and they just fly by just with being busy every single weekend. So I would love to just dial it back a little bit and enjoy my weekends a little bit more. So
especially in the summer with the lakes, like always wanting to be there. I'm sure it makes it a little bit of a challenge when you have to be other places.
Exactly. Especially when I have to like travel to like Minneapolis or wherever it might be. Like that's like a whole weekend thing. So yeah, I'm trying to do a little bit less in the next coming years, which I view as a good thing. I view as growth, doing less weddings for more than more weddings for less. So that's kind of where I'm at.
That's an exciting goal. And it's cool that you're adding things. And I feel like you're going to have a great answer for this. I know you will. It's a question we ask every single one of our guests. And it is, what does a queen mean to you?
Okay, so what does a queen mean to me? I would say so to me, it would be someone that like, if you love a job or if you have a passion or you have a career that you really want to do, you should go for it because, a school or a person or your, your parents or your grandparents or your brother or your sister, they might push you to like be this thing that they were or be this thing that you don't want to be. And essentially, like, you should just do what you want to do because you never know where it's going to take you.
Here you are. You're doing your thing. I love to see it.
That. And you're killing it.
Absolutely killing it. It's been so fun to watch just the progression.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see where you take this in 5 years. I'm so excited to see what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Cheer you on. So plug away. Tell us how people can connect with you and learn more.
Yeah, so I probably use Instagram the most. It's just at DL Wedding Films, and then the same on Facebook and my website. So it's all just DL Wedding Films.
Perfect. Love it. Well, we'll link everything so it's super easy for people to find you. And
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for
guys.
Okay, so truly, just to recap on our conversation with Anne, Magic Mind seriously is a game changer for me. Like, I truly love that I don't have to go get another cup of coffee at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, no, Magic Mind, I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to try it and like see what it's all about, because I have been desperately trying to not drink as much coffee. There's a lot of, if you listen to our last episode, I've been working on this hormone balance, and like coffee has a lot of negative effects on that. Magic Mind being matcha, ashwagandha, all these different things that are found within it being a neurotropic and a focus drink has been such a game changer.
See, that's what I really like about it too, is that it's a focus drink. Where like coffee is more of an energizer.
Yes.
But especially for you and I being at computers for long hours, like I love that I drink this, and not to mention a teeny little shot, like in 2 gulps, you have it down and then you can just focus at your computer.
And it seems to last a longer time throughout the day.
Totally.
And the other cool thing is that the more you drink it, the more your body gets used to it, but also builds up more focus. So you actually notice a stronger effect on like day 5 of drinking it, which I think is so cool, because it's kind of like you're not just taking a drink that's going to benefit you for
a couple hours.
3 hours. Yeah.
Which is also why I think they have a subscription package. So actually, Cup of Queens, we have a promo code. Enter Queens and you get 40% off your subscription.
Yes.
So I think it's worth it in the sense that the longer you drink it, the better the results.
Yes.
Like you said.
Queens for 40% off. Go do it. Don't think. Just do.
You're
going to thank us. And not to mention, it does taste really good. I think. I could see it being an acquired taste, but it's like gingery, kind of sweet matcha flavor. Like, I like it a lot.
I really like it, yeah.
Especially in the morning. So, 10 out of 10, recommend.
I'm just glad we found it.
Cup of Queens
and they
approved.
were kind enough to let us have a code.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Absolutely love it.